Okay, well, changing the brake pads on the 2005 R1, and I thought I would just rig my camera up to the side of the bike and make a little video, how-to video for anyone who's interested. I'm running the Corbon Lorraine CL, or rather the C59 racing pads, and they work fine on the street. A lot of people will tell you, oh my god, don't use those because there's no brakes when it's cold and stuff. That's not really true. I use these pads. I've run through a couple sets. I like them a lot. I use them on the street, no problem. First time you pull the brake, it's maybe just, you get 90% of what you would normally get, but that's still plenty for the street. And I kind of like them because they give you a real good kind of feeling, and because they don't grab, real abruptly, they don't unsettle the suspension. It's a centered pad. I'm not sure of the exact compound. I suspect it's semi-metallic, though. You can look them up online. And so this is the right side here, and I'll just be doing the replacement real quick. So on the R1, it's pretty straightforward. You pull these little cotter pins out. There's one on the outboard, and there's one on the inboard. And then you just kind of push the caliper pin over, get a hold of it, pull it out, and then on the backing spring here, there's a little arrow. You may not be able to see it too well, but there's a little arrow here that indicates which way is up and forward rotation. And then you've got your brake pads in here. What I do is I lift them up a little ways to get a little bit of leverage, and then just pull over. Kind of, oops, lost my camera there for a second. See if I can get this set back up. I've just got it wedged in the bodywork, so I might lose it a couple more times here. So as I was saying, you just take the pad and you kind of pull with your thumb when it's halfway up and leverage against the rotor, and then you want to leave this one in, and then repeat the process on the other side. You kind of want to keep pressure on this one and then push this one here, which will press in the calipers, and it will make room for the new pads. So you can see these are the old ones. They've got a fair amount of life left. I just felt like replacing them because I had done the rotors earlier. So you can see these are just to give you an example here. Okay, we lost the camera there for a second. So you just see the difference between the used pads on the left and then the new ones on the right. And then installation is just a matter of reversing the process, and you've expanded the caliper out on both sides, so you just slide your new pads in, the outboard and then the inboard. And on my bike I have fully floating front disc rotor, so it makes it a little bit easier. You want to make sure that the pads don't slip through, and then make sure you've got your up arrow pointing the correct direction. I always clean off a little bit of the carbon or brake dust buildup, but you don't have to do anything too crazy. And then you just carefully coax the pin through, get it on the first pad, kind of center this little spring here, push down in the middle, and then you kind of have to inch the rotor, you have to inch the pad up a little bit on the inboard side, push down again, center the pin, and then you take your cotter keys, cotter pins I guess, and you pop them in. And I'm just using a set of these Empire. You get these at Sears Roebuck. They sell them with a little pair of diagonals. These are real handy. They're kind of like a very high quality micro 7 needle nose. I use them constantly in the garage. They're good for this job. A little tricky to get the inboard one, but not too much so. And make sure that clips in there okay. There we go. And then you can rotate that a little out of the way if you want, but it doesn't really make too much difference. And then you want to just check to make sure everything's good. Free movement with the rotors there. A lot of times when you change pads, they'll suggest that you break the glaze on the rotor using, for example, a green or one of those brown metal scouring pads. I do that. I don't know if I'll do it on these rotors. I might take a little bit of emery cloth and break the glaze. But because these are fairly aggressive pads, it may not really even be warranted. So that's changing, and then of course you just repeat on the other side and you're all done. That's changing the brake pads on the 2005 Yamaha R1. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below. And thank you for watching.